It's high summer now, and the rhythm of the days has been broken up by storms. This must be the stormiest summer since we moved here. Thunder rolling in every few days, lightning lighting up the sky, without much rain to follow. My friend Laura is visiting, and with a bit of cooler air passing through, we'll be grabbing the chance to plant out more seedlings in the kitchen garden. It's the start of our third year, and even though this place has become familiar, the seasons still find ways to surprise us.
alsjeblieft.
Dankjewel. Ching ching. Vriendschap en een vuur is zo.
Dankjewel.
Eentje is goed, hè?
Ik denk dat de kleinere allicht goed zijn. Ja, deze is sowieso goed.
Hier is een bordje voor de... One of the pests I've had to deal with this year is cabbage root fly. They did quite a bit of damage to my radishes and turnips. So to protect the Tuscan kale I'm planting out today, I'm making kale collars. I'm using an old tractor tire, flexible but heavy enough not to blow away in the wind. The collar sits at the base of the plant and keeps the flies from laying eggs near the roots, which means no larvae nibbling away a few days later. I've used this method before in my square meter garden back in the Netherlands, and I'm hoping it works just as well here. ervaring met vetplanten propagaten?
Met zo blaadjes afhalen en
Ja.
dan zo... Dat is mij 1 keer gelukt. Maar zo... Dat was begonnen. En dan is het toch nog doodgegaan. Dus niet zo echt heel
Oké.
goed. Ja.
Schellingskantkaart? Ja. Dan kun jij die kaartjes maken daar. En dan maak ik die kaartjes hier. En nu wat onder de peterselie.
I'm making a box to collect the dust, the wood dust from the table router that's suspended underneath the table here. Right now it makes a big mess, but with this box around it, the dust gets collected in a tube and goes into the shop vac. And if there's not enough airflow, I can open this little slide here. And a small door, because I can't switch it off with the emergency button over here, but I need to switch the tool on with the button on the router itself. And I do want to see if I can still make a sort of funnel shape with wood on the bottom, otherwise all the dust will collect, all of it but some, in the corners. So I want to make something to funnel it to the hole.
I like it when I come up with something clever.
Yes. Oké.
Ja, dat zit er nu sowieso strakker tegen dan dat ik dat ooit
Had kunnen
had
duwen.
kunnen duwen.
Dank u.
Alright, so I've installed these pieces here. This is currently a dead end, but if you take off this cap, you can attach a tube to it and run it to a future bandsaw or maybe a planer thicknesser or both. This now collects the dust from the new dust box for the table router, and I'm waiting for a back-ordered white junction to put here, so we can also attach the hose that goes to the router fence on top of the table. But I can still currently use that tube because I can connect it to one of these new ports. But these are more meant for the orbital sander, the track saw, the router on top of the table. So all that's left now is to give it a test run and see if it works. Because I had to put in like 9 meters of tubing to get here, with a like almost 90-degree corner against the back wall, and that might inhibit the airflow. So it's all a big experiment. It works.
Zelfgemaakte yoghurt, zelfgemaakte tomaatjes.
Maar alles even van heel de aardbodem en allemaal altijd naar het
Dat is super lekker. Super simpel ook.
De hele pot doorzoeken.
Ja, dat is maar jammer.
Ja.
Zeg wat ik kan doen, ik kan natuurlijk die netjes schuiven.
Ja.
Gewoon allemaal samenkappen in een pot. En ik ben zo aan het sorteren. Dus de ronde zal ik allemaal in een doos doen,
Ah, ja.
en dan er. En dan,
De rest kan ik daar.
en dan gewoon ergens in een hoek zetten.
Ja.
En als er iets nodig is,
Dan moet je dan maar iets wat.
eruit
Precies.
halen. Ja.
And what do you think, girls?
We took the plaster off the facade a few weeks ago, but we haven't quite finished removing all the grout from between the stones. And we also obviously still need to clean them up before we can start repointing. And while sandblasting might seem like the obvious choice, it never really felt quite right to me, at least not for our particular situation. I come from a conservation and archaeology background, and in that world, sandblasting isn't necessarily a widely accepted method for cleaning historic facades. It tends to remove everything, not just the grime and the plaster residue, but also the surface patina, and in our case that would mean that the yellow undertone of the stones would be removed, and that we would then have to wait for a few years for it to return as the stones slowly oxidize. I know stonemasons who swear by wire brushing and elbow grease, and it does give a bit more control because you can choose the bristle strength depending on the texture and the softness of each individual stone. For us, I think it's really all we need. Most of the residue is really brittle lime render. It mostly comes off with just dry brushing or with a bit of water and vinegar mixed together for the tougher areas. The acid in the vinegar dissolves the lime, and because we have sandstone, it doesn't damage the stones themselves. There's very little hard cement to deal with, thankfully, so sandblasting would really feel like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It's also a pretty involved process. For us, renting an air compressor and a sandblaster would mean spending the better part of a day picking it up, and also the same for bringing it back, and then maybe 2 days of actual work. But then also an enormous dusty cleanup afterwards. So yeah, I don't think that in our case it would actually be saving us a lot of time. This is only a test patch, but it's already clear that we can go a long way with the tools that we have.